In a small town in Ohio, Gary Tuttle, a man in his 80s, was going through some old paperwork when he came across something that caught his attention. A receipt for his wedding ring. Gary had been married to his wife for over 60 years, and as he looked through the receipt, he realized something startling. He'd been overcharged by $1,200 when he bought the ring all those decades ago. Gary couldn't believe what he was seeing. He had bought the ring from a local jewelry store in 1962, and he was shocked to discover that the price he had paid for it was far higher than what the store had sold the ring for. Initially, Gary thought about letting it go. After all, it had been 60 years since the purchase, and there was no way the jewelry store could still have a record of the transaction. But then he had an idea. What if I could get a refund? Incredibly, Gary decided to visit the jewelry store with the receipt in hand, thinking he would at least give it a try. When he arrived at the store, the staff seemed surprised to see him, especially with the claim he was making. He explained the situation very calmly and presented the receipt, showing how much he had paid versus the actual value of the ring. To his astonishment, the store manager, after reviewing the documents, agreed to refund him $1,200 that he had been overcharged. But the store didn't stop there. Understanding that inflation had affected the value of the money over the decades, they also issued Gary a check for an adjusted amount of $2,000, taking into account the decades of inflation. Gary was overwhelmed and couldn't believe what had just happened. He had never expected such a response. Gary joked, "I guess I paid too much for love all those years ago, but I'm getting paid back now." The story of his refund went viral, and it became a symbol of honesty, persistence, and how sometimes the past can come back to reward you in unexpected ways. The lesson of this story is a perfect example of how things can come full circle, sometimes even after decades. Fairness and honesty can prevail, and it shows that it's never too late to make things right, even if time has passed. And that, my friends, are the facts, Jack.